Welcome to the Curate Podcast Season 3. I'm on a journey of sitting down and talking with the influencers in our city, risk takers who are growing the region, creative minds who are building our area, and entrepreneurs that make up the best that Southwest Florida has to offer. So sit down, grab a drink, and join the conversation. Let's get right to it. Curate Podcast Season 3. I'm your host, Malik Adigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Curate Podcast Season 3, another episode. My name is Malik. Thank y'all so much for watching. This is a series, a podcast about local people in Southwest Florida who are making waves, influencers, tastemakers of all sorts in the arts, entrepreneurship, and, you know, anything. We don't care. So I kind of just go out and find some people who are doing some dope things, who are inspiring and making moves, and just kind of know their story, talk a little bit, chop it up a little bit about everything that relates to them and things around them. So thank y'all for tuning in. We have here a dude, man, you've probably seen his work all over the place at your favorite venue, one of your favorite open mic night, art poetry night. This dude's everywhere. Literally, you're everywhere somehow.
Hey, you gotta make time.
He's probably the best collabor I've seen. Someone who just fucks with everybody and everybody fucks with, I would say. And you're just all around good person.
Yeah.
So this is, how do I introduce you? So introduce yourself. I'll let you introduce yourself to people.
All right, so mine, I am the human, physical me that I'm here. I'm Victor. Victor Matos. That is who I am. That is who I grew up.
Your human self. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And then you go into the creative, the alter ego, the person whom I like to use to look at other people at the artist scenario is the Saiyajinka.
So what is that name?
It's a mix of Saiyan on top of
Super
Saiyan, like Super Saiyan, like
right.
Dragon Ball. But to my creative mind, it's more of like we're that advanced civilization of Saiyans that stop focusing so much on putting the key into their muscles and their powers and training. So now we put the key into creating shit.
Oh,
so we are that advanced civilization, you know, like
we're going there already. Damn.
Exactly. So I mean, that's how I look at art. Like whenever I look at whoever is around me, I don't look at what they're doing. I look at that energy that they're putting into whatever that it is that they're doing. And that is you're saying that is the creatives. Any creative out here is a saying. Every creative out here understands what it's like to evolve and grow and like
level
fall
up.
down. Exactly, fall down and just keep going. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing in Southwest Florida. We're the Saiyans. Like,
yo.
And
wait, where are you from originally, bro?
I was born in Peru.
Peruvian. Shouts out Peru. You got some amazing food.
That's your second part of the name, the Inca.
Inca
Saiyajinka. So that's where I want to bring more of that Peruvian culture, who I am, what I grew up with, what I am learning about the great civilization of the Incas.
Shouts out to Inca Cola.
Hey, you know, the golden drink.
Golden drink from the guys.
That is where I come from, you know what
bro.
I mean? Like that's what influences me. So.
Lomo saltado, bro.
Yo, shout out to James. Last night he had a vegan lomo saltado.
What?
Like, yeah.
What does that consist of?
Oof, who knows? I really don't know. I mean, I'm all about my meat.
He's like, it's vegetables.
Yo,
man.
but like homie said that shit was good. Had a little bit of tofu that tasted like actual carne. So I don't. Yeah.
So you grew up eating just like green spaghetti, you know, all that.
My mom makes the best green spaghetti in fucking Peru.
It freaked me out when I first had it because I was like, "Yo, what the hell? Is it not red?"
Right?
And it was it's pesto based, right?
Yeah. It's pesto and spinach and basil, cheese, and no, it was an everyday thing.
So when did you move from Peru to here?
10 years old. That's when my parents decided that it was a better choice for me to be here and grow up in the United States with more chances to do more stuff.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the origins a little bit. When you got here, when did you start? We got to have different segments of the show. This segment's called Origins. And I want to know, what's the origin of you when you're here? Like, not even when you're here, because you could have started in Peru. When did you start making art? Because those who don't know, you're a visual artist. That's what you do. You create illustrations, paintings, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So when did you start getting into art?
2 years ago, actually.
2 years ago?
Yeah. The artist life comes... See, that it's my whole... Again, in coming to the artist world, you meet a lot of open-minded people. So you create this whole story. This is why I believe the Saiyajinka is my alter ego. This is the story that he's creating behind what's going on here. Before, 2 years ago, I called that the other side of the Gemini, which is my physical human self, where I was dealing with life and I was actually a human. I want to say I was brainwashed into believing that I wanted to be that famous popular guy, the famous, the popular guy in school, the guy that was always doing shit. And I was like not about that life because it just wasn't who I was, and I was always trying to fit in.
Yeah,
that's
for
my
sure.
physical self. That's my first half of my life. That's the one Gemini that I remember that I'm here. And of course 2 years ago when I started doing art, it opened up my eyes to a whole new world. Like I had seen the movies of the come ups and how people start in their basements and things like that, but actually being out here and seeing people literally do shit out of their their basements and pull up some of the craziest fucking melodies. You know what I mean? Like it just became all so surreal to me. Like this is a real life. Like these people are really creating to live.
Who are some of those artists that you saw that kind of like you were like, damn, like how are you that good?
From the top, like on the very very beginning, it was the Demigod duo. They were the
shouts
first
out
people.
Demigod.
Big shout out. Like they were the first like big artists that I saw that like liked my art. To me, that was like mind blowing. I was like, yo, you guys like fuck with it. He's like, yeah, we grew up with Dragon Ball and like that's our stuff and whatnot. And they bought a few pieces, and ever since then, I was running to them at shows. I was trying to always come out with them. They would be like, yo, whenever we're at a show, you're the first artist we're gonna hit up, and it was that love. And again, I saw them different shows, different things. So it was that love in between us that really opened up my mind to be more open up.
You started kind of, it seems like
meeting different people,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing again, like you said, collaborating with others to me is just being like helping them create what they're creating on and see how I can make it just a little bit better. You know what I mean?
You have this thing where someone's doing an event, a release show, a showcase, and you'll figure out like the people who are in the showcase, and then you'll make a piece of art that is of the group or the rap group or the band, and it's like, bro, no one ever asked you, no one paid. Like, I mean, maybe people are paying you, but like, bro, like you just did it off the strength of shit, bro. Like that's such a like no one does that.
And it goes back to when I first started doing the art. The one reason why I wanted to do art was to say find a way to say thank you, like. Not just go out there and be like, yo, like, thank you for being nice to me, or thank you for doing that. Like, it was, like, literally a way for me to give something to somebody else. And then I started getting invited to all these, like, events. And I just realized people, like art, but sometimes people just want original shit. And I was hitting that, and it was just about making it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to make money off of somebody else's face. Again, it's all out of love for me. I love doing it. I'm growing. But, again, it's about creating that opportunity that... And again, I don't just do it just to do it. I have, like, there always something happens to the point where, like, that piece comes out of that.
Right. You so I say for my birthday, my boy Jay, from the Heat Check podcast as well, for Curate, all that good stuff, he surprised me with a painting for my birthday, and it was something that you did.
Yeah, big shout out to Jay for that.
Yeah. And so if y'all want to see here, this is because I fuck with Hey Arnold, best cartoon. Don't at me. All right,
full 90s vibe.
Top one cartoon.
Even wear the bandana.
Top.
Yeah. Yo, man,
top
best
two.
love.
I'm rocking the bandana that you
That's
fucking
love,
painted,
yeah.
my guy. Did I plan that? It's production, man. It's
it-
production. No, but you fused Chance the Rapper 3 with Gerald with Malik, and that shit's fire, bro. I just want to say thank you for that shit.
Yo, hell yeah.
Like,
Always. It's love.
fire,
It's
bro.
love. And, the second...
This is the type of shit, though, that we were talking about. Like, yo, that's original. That no one else is going to have that. Like, that's so dope, bro.
Yeah. It's part of the vision. You know what I mean? Like, we're all... I was always a side player. Like, I would always put myself to the side, and I always say I don't want to get involved in anything because I'm not good at anything, so there's no point in being the star. But shit always ended up on my end, and I always had to deal with things that I didn't know how to deal with. So now when I do things like this, it's more about helping others realize you're your own, like, main character. You are in your own show. Like, you can do whatever it is that you do want to do.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different mentality.
There's a book about how your life is pretty much parallel to a great story. You think about all the great stories that you love, all the great movies, like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all these like big epic movies that you're like has this protagonist, the main character who has to overcome all these things, and you go, why is that a good story? It's not because the story was easy. It's because this person had to overcome a large amount of shit to get to the end of the movie, right? And so I think about that, so whatever makes the greatest stories is technically going to make the greatest life. So taking those elements of a great story and living that out and being like, yo, you're like, I can't just sit back and just be like on some normal shit. Or if you're facing some hard shit, realize that it's a part of a good story. You're the main character pretty much, and that's a dope way to look at it.
Yeah, and again, big shout out to Lee too that introduced me into.
Lee Schneider?
Lee Schneider, bro.
Yeah.
That's the brother. That's the sensei. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he actually talked to me about that a while back, to where every story has that hero that it's always never fits, because I never feel like a fit. Because you have all this other like actual hip hop and rap artists that are creating music and they feel a certain way and they can go out and put out like a song about it. But with me, it's different because I'll make an art piece about it, but people are just gonna come up to me and say, "Hey, I like your Dragon Ball shit," but they won't ask like why.
All right.
You know what I
so
mean?
check it out. I want to play a game with you.
Go ahead.
It's a segment of the show. We have a bunch of different segments. This one's called Pick One. You got to pick one.
All right.
All right, ready?
Oof.
Naruto or Dragon Ball Z?
Ooh, Dragon Ball Z.
Why was that so quick? You wouldn't even think about it.
I watched Naruto. I just actually started watching Naruto. Watched the first season. It's really good, but it's the teachings behind the idea of the key in Dragon Ball Z. So much to where like it's Goku. You know what I mean? Like I feel like to a point it's like he always just looks for energy. Like he's attracted to energy. Like that's the biggest thing about Goku. So I see that in myself all the time when I see the creatives. So again, when I saw Naruto, I saw more of a storyline where like it's a whole team, and I understand you guys are all growing up differently and like they backstab each other because they're samurais and they just
spoiler.
But
but you relate more to Goku and the story behind that because nigga when spaceship had to get right.
You know what I mean?
Came
like
out.
half of the time I don't know what I'm doing when I'm creating or like when I link up with different artists because I don't like I just see what they're creating and I'm trying to jump on it too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's bad. I'll actually go choked up on the mic on the other open mic. Yeah. Just kind of didn't feel the vibes. Like just kind of choked and it was horrible. But other times I can actually come out and just speak and do different stuff. And like we did the showcase with Power by 3.
For sure. Shouts out to Power by 3.
But I have no idea what I'm doing half of the time. Like it's just fun creating and watching other people create. You know what I mean?
For sure. All right, next one. Color pencils or markers?
Markers.
You were disgusted just now.
I don't think I've used colors pencils in a good minute.
No, like in like elementary school, you wasn't.
No, I mean, but it was like color inside the box and all that.
Color pencils are kind of trash because there's no because they don't really. It doesn't really pop when you color something. It's like all right, bet.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta ask that class. There's levels. There's levels to it.
All right, Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon?
Oof.
I can end the podcast right now if you get this wrong, man. Don't do it. It's very hard.
Nick.
I feel like Nickelodeon is more of a staple than the Cartoon. Cartoon Network was for like the niggas who was woke and shit. Like who was ahead of the curve.
I actually I was at Wynwood this week and I saw this huge mural of Dexter and his sister, and it was behind the fucking KFC, like a random ass mural. Yeah. But it was just that vibe. I was like, yo, like. That was my show, the little guy with the glasses, like that was me. Like I always felt like Dexter, but he always had this genius mind that maybe I never tapped into when I was little. So I was always about to go to Cartoon Network, but not Nick. Nick, and Nick is the shit.
All right, how about Kendrick or J. Cole?
Oof. J. Cole for sure. I've seen
really?
it's the thing is I've seen J. Cole live. I haven't had the pleasure to see Kendrick.
I've seen both.
I haven't had the pleasure. I can't say that it's an experience because I haven't been, but I've been to every single of the J. Cole.
What about just off the music? Off the music.
Kendrick has the best albums, like from
Good Kid, Section 80.
Section 80. Yeah. That's the album that I first heard from Kendrick that was like, yo, like, I don't have it that bad. There's some real stuff. There's some real stuff out there. Yeah, Section 80.
Damn. All right. Lomo saltado or ceviche?
Ceviche.
What kind? Like you go fish? Seafood. You go seafood? You go the whole thing or what?
Yeah. No. Like ceviche.
You do fish ceviche, shrimp ceviche. Or you do like a mix.
The mix with everything. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, bro. Yeah, where's the best ceviche you've had in Southwest Florida?
Southwest Florida. There's a little spot right next to the Winn-Dixie and Golden Gate. The cheapest Peruvian food you'll find, but the best sauce.
High quality
sauce down in Golden Gate. Yes.
All right. Yes. I gotta check it out. All right, Vegeta or Goku?
Goku again. Goku.
Stop.
Like I can't.
Do you fuck with the Vegeta like that? Like, what do you?
No,
what do
it's a thing with Vegeta. It's that Vegeta was probably the kid that was bullying me in school. To be quite honest, and because everybody wanted to be that asshole, everybody wanted to be that cool guy, and I wanted to too, but like it wasn't me, you know what I mean? I was always attracted to different things, and it just never built up. Like I was like, yo, Vegeta's a badass, but he was a bad guy. Like he's been trying to kill people for a minute. Like,
all right, 90s hip hop or early 2000s hip hop?
Oof. See the thing with
how
all
old are you?
that,
First off,
I'm 25.
Youngins.
But you gotta understand that I came
I'm
into this
27.
country, like I miss all the 90s. When it happened, I've had to be introduced back into, because my 90s is different from your 90s.
What's 90s Peru looking like? You know, like what's 90s Peru? What's happening?
It's a lot of cumbia and
shit.
empolladas, and you know what I'm saying? Like this is where you hear the old school salsas. Like, you know, I remember my parents carrying me out of like different like, and it was kind of like this events like we're trying to pull out here, like warehouses and different things, so that we're just go out, drink, like different businesses people are trying to do stuff at. And you know, like I to a point, like, you know, my dad loves music. I don't know where he gets that love from, but I feel like it was from growing up from all of that. But it was none of that Biggie and Tupac.
So you gotta paint the picture. You moved here when
I was 10, so 2003-ish.
And so you popped into like the Yin Yang Twins era and shit, like
sort of. But then, you know, you have to add up the time that I had to learn the English to understand all this.
Oh, so you wasn't even there yet.
No, yeah, and it wasn't even the English. It was the mentality of being in the United States that was, you know, I didn't get introduced to Biggie and Tupac because of their music career. I got introduced to them because of how influential they were into a certain type of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you pick, like back 2010, 11, yo, people would cherish Tupac. You know what I mean? Like that was like thing. And then people are like, yo, you don't know who Tupac is? And, you know, you have to fucking learn who Tupac is. But it changes life. It changes your life though. Like you really realize that this dude, it was the one trying to put all this like people together and organize all these events, which is, again, it puts me back into that mentality where all of this is so much more real to me. You know what I mean? Trying to build up some kind of culture down here.
So you going Tupac or Biggie? Which one?
Ooh, Tupac hard.
It's interesting that it's like you gotta, as far as American history goes, it's like you gotta know who the presidents are. You gotta know who Pac is. And you're like, that's like the third question. It's like, do you know who Tupac is? Like, welcome to America. You know who Tupac is? Like, you know, it's like you have to.
And if you say no, they'll be like, yo, but what about Biggie? You know what I mean? One or the other.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, thank you for doing that. So actually, I got one more. Kanye or Trump?
Ooh, Kanye.
That's what it is.
Kanye.
I did that last episode.
Sunken place, bro.
Sunken place, man.
Homie's crazy. Homie's different levels of crazy, and you know, to a point you gotta love him because he's honest about that shit. But to a point, it's kind of like, bro, like.
I mean, it's a fine line between genius and crazy.
And again, did you see that interview, that hour-long interview he had with
Charlemagne?
Yeah. That interview just opened up my mind to the fact that he, to a point, is an entertainer, but has goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he has the money to do it. It's just watching him actually execute it. That's kind of like...
And he executes in his own way, and you're like, I don't get it, but somehow he pulls it off. This time around, I don't know if he pulled it off. Like, I don't know if with all the Trump, with all the MAGA hat thing, I don't know. And then he dropped the projects in the summer, and I was like, I don't know if you did it, bro.
Yeah, I feel like he was trying to make up to a point. I mean, even like dropping all those projects.
He was trying to be like, I'm sorry, guys.
Like here, I'm still me, but like it's not. It's, you know, like don't buy into all that BS because again, it has to be publicity. It has to be. But
well, was that a marketing scheme or was that?
It has to be. It has to be. Yeah. Like people do not understand. Like, I'm fucking pulling marketing schemes all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get likes, the comments. I know who to message. I know who's jumping on it later on. Like, you know, like with that kind of money and the type of people that he probably has working behind them, marketing scheme easily, yo.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for doing that. I want to do another segment of the show. It's called, I want to do Break It Down. So you have to break down something.
Alrighty. I got this.
So I want you to break down... I want you to break down how you find inspiration when you don't have it. You know, as an artist, you have to find a way to keep creating consistently, but a lot of times it's like you create out of that inspiration. So when you're not inspired, how do you find the inspiration? Do you just keep working through that dead writer's block, you know, artist block, or how do you find it?
Honestly, at this point in my artist life career, I have enough work to always find that mood to keep creating. And even if I don't, like I said, I used to play soccer, and that's a little something I want to get back into. So when I hit those blockers, which I just can't go anymore, I've done 5-6 paintings, and it's like, yo, I'm worn out. Like, there's no more.
Yeah.
Like, I go out and I just go on the run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realize I go from the Saiyajinka that's creating, I can go to that human level me and just live life. Experience it. Like, if I have to go out on the drive, like, I'll just drop everything, go out on that drive. Like, wait for the instrument to just come back. Like, I don't. There's to me, there's no point in pushing it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not there, if it's not there, it's not there. You know.
It's just hard because it feels like you gotta create even when you don't want to create, and it almost makes it feel like it's ingenuine. Like, because for me, it's like when I create something, I want it to be authentic. But that authentic, like, if I don't feel it and I still create, is that authentic or is that just discipline? It's like
exactly.
Shit.
See, like that. You see, like, again, a lot of people like compliment me on getting all these pieces done and having all this art all the time.
You work hard. You work a lot. You put
And the funny part is that I bring out pieces that I have finished up like a month ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have things in the closet that I haven't put out because, again, it has to come with authenticity. You just, like I'm saying, you can't just put out projects out and just expect people to just always buy into it.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the right time, and you have to wait for the right mood. You know what I mean? Like, it just, and again, things just kind of happen. Somebody hits you up with one thing, two thing, and you're like, yo, this is the time. Like, I got this thing's popping up. I can drop it here. And again, you have to be smart with your craft, like, because everybody can create. Anybody wants to come out here and create, which I encourage 100%. We all want to see different stuff. But at the same time, when you're presenting it to the world, it has to be that professional level to where, I mean, on a personal level, I want to grow. I want to be a little more of an artist who's not putting so much stuff to where I can have more original stuff that takes a little more time, has more meaning behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I like that, man. All right, we're going to go to the next segment of the show. The segment's called Clear It Up. I want you to clear up a misconception about, and people might have you. So the misconception that I would like you to clear up is that you cannot be like a hip hop. You can't be black or Spanish and like anime. It's like that, like, like if people just think nerds like anime. So clear up the anime misconception about who can like anime, who really likes anime.
Honestly, like, that misconception is that it's not about the anime. You can like certain things about the anime. Like, you can be an artist and like the artwork, which is what I'm gonna pull out a lot of people that like anime nowadays is what they grew up on. So it's not so much that they like to keep watching it, it's the teachings that you had back then. You grew up knowing that if you were a fuckboy, you were gonna get your ass whooped. Simple as that. Like, and if you did shit like the right way, like, cause I've done, like, growing up, like, in the high school years, you do some like fucked up shit, and then you're like, yo, damn, like, why did shit happen the way it did? And you're like, yo, you did some bad stuff. You knew this. You're playing the bad guy in your own movie. You know what I mean? So it's focusing back into being that. Having the right mentality to do.
Because I'm gonna be honest, like, when I grew up, I didn't watch anime. I mean, I watched Dragon Ball Z, but it's like that's an easy one to watch.
But again, it's the whole culture around Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? Like, everything else that you watched around was giving you that same idea, the same message. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're watching Cartoon Network, then you were somewhere else on that.
But yeah, I mean, because now I feel like it's a mainstream thing to like. It's like a cool thing to like anime, which is funny to see that turn.
Well, it's the way I heard it one time is that we're all just kids with superpowers. We're all kids with powers that are trying to be superheroes. So to a point, we're still trying to be that superhero. This is why it's so great, because now you can buy all the gear and be like more accessible to it. So you like it a lot more, because I feel like a lot of us from the 90s are still trying to not be a grown up. We're still
we're trying to preserve our youth, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Y'all can't be young CB out here being 19 all the time. You know what I'm saying? God.
So again, it goes back to just the idealistic behind that. You know what I mean? Like,
it kind of it brings you back. It's like it's nostalgic. It's like, man, this is what I grew up on.
And now I have the money to do it. I don't have anybody telling me I don't have homework to do behind
it. Yeah, now I can watch.
I
can binge watch this shit.
Fully enjoy it. You know what I mean? And again, it's so popular that you can, like me, you can start making a living out of it. You can grow into something bigger, something to do with actual magazines and actual comic books.
So you have a lot of hip hop, influence obviously into your art. You mix a lot of those. You kind of blur the lines between illustrations and hip hop and stuff. So what who's Victor listening to, bro? Like, who's your like top artist?
Recently, I've tried to stick to a lot of just local artists.
All right, so give me local artists you fuck with.
Locally, the Demigod duo for sure.
Yeah.
Bianca Beaches B.
Yeah.
Bianca J. Rosso, just some raw stuff.
You fuck with Nate Traveler?
Nate Traveler, hard.
Yeah.
He killed his last 2 projects with Brandon Bennett and Busy Crook, is it's crazy because again you don't see Nate a lot. You don't hear from him. He's tweeting every here and there, and you're like, is he working? Is he not working? But then he drops some stuff like this, and you're like, yo, like dude is working hard. You know what I mean?
What's happening in Naples, man? It seems like all of a sudden there's like some like its own little renaissance of sorts between. All the movements going on over there.
I think it's just everything. It's just the movement. Everybody's trying to do more. You know what I mean? Like I've had people approach me like, "Hey, why don't you start doing this, doing that?" And it's like I would love to, but I'm an artist. Like I love creating. I love putting different colors together. Like it's not for me. I could, you know what I mean? I could grow and be more and host my own shows and. Like have my own events and things like that, but that's not what I'm into. But I feel like a lot of people are taking advantage of the fact that there's so much creative energy going around that everybody wants to do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you got to give everybody a chance because, again, not everybody's listening to the same thing. Not everybody has the same goals. You know what I mean? So it's about sharing it right now because one season comes around, we're going to get some real eyes,
What do you think about Dom getting signed?
Oof. I don't know Dom like that, but I know that it's a good thing because it shows that there's some kind of birth going here. There's some energy that
eyes are on us. Eyes are on the artists here. Obviously,
oh yeah, for sure,
there's talent here. Yeah, man.
And I've said it since like I said, like I told you, since you guys' event back in November. That's when I really saw some real change around here where. Everything's becoming a lot more professional, and I don't think that's just like coincidence. I feel like we are, like you said, being seen more. There are more things, there are more eyes, there are more ears. So I feel like, again, it's just growth. You have to grow somewhere, and I was in Miami just like a week ago, and
how was that?
Oh, it's hella dope. Yeah. A lot of love, but you see the same growth. You see people are starting to do the same thing. People are hosting their same events, charity events. They're pulling out more. Visual artists, again, it's I feel like it's that growth that's going in Florida.
I feel like visual art almost, at least in pop culture, kind of almost died for a sec, and I feel like it's like a resurgence.
Yeah, it's because of all the digital stuff. Simple as that, like
visual.
You know what I'm saying? Like again, Matt, shout out to CV has some dope ass visuals for those flyers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to making an album cover to where it has some kind of like originality to it. Like Woodrow Wilson's the Happy Hour.
Oh yeah, that was great. Great job.
I love
on that. Yeah.
And again, it wasn't about like what I wanted to do for him. It was more like he showed me the project, and I was like, I honestly would love to like create something for you that fits this album. And big shout out to him because he sat with me and whatever he said, I made it happen. And again, it was that bond between me and him that again it made a completely different visual than what I usually do. But it made it clean. It made it fit his style. Man,
that's great. All right, we're gonna go to another segment here. It's called One Word.
One word.
I'm gonna say a word or phrase, and you are going to tell me the first thing that comes. The one word, the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right. Got a lot going on up there.
He's gonna say some wild shit.
Might spill some tea.
Yeah, I know. All right.
I gotta get paid.
Start out. Peru.
Homeland.
Art.
Life.
Machu Picchu.
I haven't seen it. Haven't been. I have those visions. I know. I know from there. I've always wanted to go. Yes, because I feel like the energy out there would change my mood, change me, help me evolve. Yeah. But again, it's just one of those things, those crazy things that I have where I believe my ancestors are helping me build this path. Yeah. To just have a voice. So I feel like that's homeland. Like that's when I make it down here, I can go back and be like, yo, like I did it. Like what's next? You know what I mean? Like next growth. Yeah. All
right. Vegan.
I'm sorry. No. I need my meat.
Wow,
I need my meat.
You don't want to go to vegan?
No, I'm sorry. It's just a thing. You grow up with that.
Basquiat.
Again, you've lost me there.
You know who Basquiat is?
No, I'm sorry.
Well, no. He's
I feel uncultured right now.
No, he's a modern visual artist that out of Brooklyn that died. But you never heard of Basquiat?
I mean, it sounds very, very familiar.
No,
but
you
again,
definitely seen a Basquiat.
Again, to me, you have to kind of give me a whole like origin story. Or just not take it in one year, go there, listen Spanish.
How it is? Genius
with Dexter.
Yeah,
we're just talking about.
That's good.
You kill me the mirror.
Like
you kill me the mirror, bro.
I'm messing with Dominic Fike.
Yo, Ice.
Yeah.
Ice. That's his visions, bro. Because again, it has. I mean, he wants to come back home and show some love. That'll be fucking dope.
Yeah,
no, you know what I mean? But again, it's an artist. You gotta let him be him.
Best rapper in Southwest Florida.
Best rapper.
One word. One artist. I'm not gonna do that to you, bro. I don't want to make you.
You gotta kill my contracts, bro. You gotta kill my contracts. I got some stuff on the side, bro.
Just go find you, bro.
Nigga,
you know what? Cancel my
you don't
order.
Fuck with me like that. I got a couple of releases coming out, so don't.
Oh my gosh. Brian Frank. Be Frank.
Yo, mentor, sensei.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to that guy. He has a lot of knowledge, and he's young.
Yeah.
I think he was a lot older, but I look up to him. Big time.
California.
Yo, dreams. Gotta make it out there.
Place in the world you'd like to travel?
Would love to head out to Europe. Anywhere in Europe. I feel like it's a different vibe.
Biggest inspiration?
Other people's talents. And their hustle. Yeah.
Nice. Favorite beer?
You have to go with that Corona. Corona with the lime, yo. What else?
Oh my God.
I ain't got that kind of budget, you know what I mean? I just go to the shows to sell stuff. So if I get a good vendor and getting stuff, then you drink the good stuff. But
you live in Naples, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You said Golden Gate?
Golden Gate, right? Golden Gate, Santa Barbara.
Damn, bro.
Show love.
I try to go out to Naples as much as I can, man. A lot of y'all gotta come see, but it's just far, bro.
I come up here for every show every week. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know it's a drive. I try to tell people to come up here from Naples. Like, yo, there's gonna be a show, dope ass artist, dope ass show. But it's like, yo, it's a drive. It's a 40-minute drive. Nobody wants to come out.
So as an artist, man, like, this is I think what we're all trying to do. We're content creators, artists, rappers, singers, songwriters, all that stuff. We have this passion that we love doing. We can do it off the passion, off the strength. But a lot of us want to make a living off of it. We want to quit our day jobs, and go to that. So what's your process? Obviously your goals probably is to do that, but what's your end goal with that, with being an artist? And how are you transitioning into that role in life? How are you getting to that point,
Well, at the beginning, again, as any artist, you start making stuff and people start looking at it and dropping some cash, and it's nice. You know what I mean? And you start visioning like, hey, maybe I want to do this for a living. I'm going to make all this art and sell it. But at the end of the day, like, I've been in it now. Like, I hit a point where, people aren't spending money on the art. They're spending more on the idea behind the art. So there was a point throughout this whole, like, experience where I just had to sit down and you're like, what do I really want? And aside from making the art, I've been growing into doing poetry, coming out and standing up and the mic is my biggest fear, all through high school, all through college. It's just like the mic's not for me, but actually coming out and spilling out my feelings, like, I feel like it helps me evolve and grow. And again, I feel like maybe my end goal won't be selling art, but continue to create, to bring more into the community, continue to create different things, and put in a touch of beauty every so often, but just growing with the city and growing with the opportunities that I may have doing different things like that. Absolutely. Because here comes you never know who might be seeing or what might be that right job. I just want to continue to grow. Do you want
to stay in Southwest Florida? Like, what, because I think that's what we're all kind of like, should I dip to Miami or New York or Cali, or do you want to, like, hold it down here as long as you can and try to figure it out from here? Like, what's your place in that?
For you to really appreciate my art, especially because it's handmade on a canvas. Once you see it, you want it. Yeah. But if you see it online, it's just a completely different vibe. So I do want to travel, but I want to travel to bring it back here. Right. Or travel to make connections up there to bring what we have here out there. bring that love out there and then be able to again make the right connection so people can continue to grow. Like that's I'm just one of those little players that might help that happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit, man. I guess I've seen you maybe share things on some of the things going on in our country politically, and I hate to make things political, but I think it's cool we talk on it. But you being an immigrant, coming here from another country, you being a minority in America, like what is your take on the last 2 years? I don't even know how long it's been with this nigga, but the last 2 years of Trump and like what you see going on with ICE and stuff. Like, what's your take on it? How you feel about it?
Big take is I'm called a dreamer.
You're a dreamer.
You're
not an immigrant.
I'm a dreamer.
So why? All right, break that down.
What a dreamer would be is there was a special selection of kids that came here before they turned 18, that they were brought up here by their parents, and so they were giving this special permission to be able to stay here, where we get your working permit, you get what you need to be stable in this country.
Sure.
But you have to pay every so often, which it's completely understandable. But again, that's what a dreamer would be, and since Trump came into play, he pretty much killed that. So for a good minute, he left me up in the air. Where and I actually went out and this was like the biggest things that changed my life as an artist was that coming out to the open mics, I was able to talk about all this stuff. Like I had all this built up, all this hate. I was so pissed about so much that I was able to come out and just say it, and people understood, and people were like, "Yo, like we feel you," you know what I mean? So what he's doing, just creating a lot of hate because the people are being a lot more open about it.
He's let a lot of people kind of voice their racism. Everyone's kind of been in hiding, and all of a sudden he's empowered them to speak.
And a lot of that has to do with social network, where people, like you said, people can post stuff and be like bullies and
behind their keyboards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's one of those things where I think they had a rally not too long ago down by the courthouse, and once they was posted up on Facebook, the comments just coming down, just extremely, just the most racist comments you can see from people that live in Naples. So you're looking around like, yo, where do I work? Like I work downtown Naples. Like this is that one high class that might look down on me. You know what I mean? So it makes you a little comfortable. It makes you just, where am I really? Like, am I really wanted here? Like, is this something that I really want to do? Like you said, do you want to go out of state or like stay here? It's like, do I really want to stay here? Do I feel welcome? You know what I mean? And you deal with that, because I mean, again, aside from all the love and everything that might happen at the events, there's a lot behind the scenes that we're all human. So
Absolutely.
we all deal with us, like you said, political like problems, like when they had ICE coming up and down Golden Gate. It was like I was phoning my parents every so often, and my mom was making sure when are you leaving the house, when are you getting to work, and it was like, yo, chill out, like I'll be okay. But you don't know. Maybe they get that asshole that might look at you wrong, and that's that. You know what I mean? So I feel like, again, as an artist, I have gained a voice, and if I continue to grow, again, going to the political point is I might become a voice for that.
Absolutely.
Type of
because you have a platform, and that's the beauty about creating a platform for yourself, is that you're able to voice those things, and people who subscribe to that platform, however they do, you're able to influence them and do that with.
Definitely.
So
and
cool.
Again, and I'm a lot less afraid to speak about who I am, what I do, like what really goes down in my life. So I feel like, again, that's giving me that freedom to, whatever does happen, I'll be able to speak up and say something about it, and not sit on the side and just be quiet about the problems.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, man, what is the most exciting thing to you right now about being an artist in Southwest Florida, man? Like, I'm
excited about just all the creativity being put out there. It's exciting to hear different sounds. It's exciting to see different colors, and how I can put my little bit of touch into it, and how I can influence it. You know what I mean? Because, again, it's about leaving a little something. You know what I mean? Like you said, when I go to an event, I don't just leave a painting because it's pretty. I leave it because I want to go back, and maybe later on I'll ask for something, or maybe later on, you'll need something. You'll know that like you can come up to me and ask me for, like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like there's that love. So it's just again, I think the most exciting part is just continuing to spread the love. Like, we have a lot of love down here, and we have to show it. We have to share it. We have to keep reaching out to people that maybe don't get the pleasure to just be around people like us where they get the platforms.
Bro, Victor, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Always, bro.
Anything, where can people find you and follow you and find your art and stuff, man?
Big on Instagram. I'm always posting different contests and shows and different specials. I go by at Saiyajinka, which is SAIYAJINKA.
Yeah. Oh, got him.
Oof.
I killed him.
And if you actually want to know about me personally as a person, my name is Victor Matos. Just hit that up on the Facebook, and more than likely I'll pop up.
Absolutely, right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching Curate Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share on all socials. Thank you so much for the love. Please comment, tell us what you think. Please go check his stuff out. Go buy some art. It's dope. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. See you next time. Peace.